Coming up, we meet two men from Yunlin, Taiwan, whose lives dramatically changed after walking the Tzu Chi path. And we meet Wu Ziyu, who's looking to improve the lives of others one cup of coffee at a time. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Mary Lee. Thank you for joining us. We start today's show in Taiwan. Doing his part for the environment, Liu Wenchen of Yunlin, Taiwan, is firm in his mission to keep the planet clean. However, what brought him to Tzu Chi's recycling station was actually a devastating car accident 13 years ago. And also from Yunlin is recently certified Tzu Chi volunteer Chen Junying, who thought he was the most unfortunate person in the world. It was only when walking the Tzu Chi path that Chen realized how blessed he was. Now we see how the two found the spiritual sustenance they needed. It's 4:10 in the morning, and Chen Junying is already at the Tzu Chi Yunlin liaison office. Starting the day with Master Zhen Yin's teachings, Chen gains much spiritual sustenance to nurture his wisdom.
In order to gain wisdom, one must learn from the Master and actualize her lessons in our daily life. When we reflect, that's when wisdom is gained.
After retiring as a government worker, Chen focused on volunteering.
After coming to the recycling station, I feel my brain has been more active. If I keep up doing this, then my brain function won't regress, and I won't suffer from Alzheimer's.
Losing his father at the age of 5 and growing up in a farming community, Chen always felt that life had dealt him a bad hand. However, on a Tzu Chi's home visitation, Chen finally realized his good fortune. Regretful that he didn't take care of his mother better when she was alive, Chen now treats all seniors like his own elders.
Being a medical volunteer, I treat everyone that comes by like my own family member. Whatever they need, I will offer my services.
A jack of all trades, Chen doesn't let any opportunity pass to help those in need.
脑筋想看啊，然后我希望喜欢。
Meanwhile, this is Liu Wenchen, also of Yunlin, who was involved in a car accident 13 years ago that left him with impaired vision, memory, and manual dexterity.
It was really bad. He had amnesia. He didn't recognize me or remember how to read. I really didn't know what to do.
Fortunately, Tzu Chi volunteers walked into the family's life.
The Master says suffering in this world is different for different people. So how can I help them? By introducing them to Tzu Chi.
Sorting recyclables became a rehabilitation exercise, and as Liu's mobility slowly returned, the smile on his face returned as well.
My son thinks it's strange that his dad finds so much joy doing recycling at Tzu Chi. My husband grins from year to year when there.
Liu's language ability has yet to fully recover. Thus, he quietly throws himself into breaking down recyclables at the station, inspiring those around him with his dedication and life story. Finding his direction in life and source of happiness, Liu's determination to be a volunteer had remained steadfast. In the United States, Tzu Chi volunteers in Dayton, Ohio, have for the past decade been holding year-end blessing ceremonies at the local YWCA. This year, volunteers brought scarves and woolen hats as Christmas gifts for participants and encouraged children to boldly express their love to their mothers.
Mom, I love you very much.
The young boy sees the opportunity to express his appreciation and love to his mother.
Everybody want to see that, right? Okay, go. Come on. Yeah. Great job.
For the past 10 10 years, Tzu Chi volunteers from Dayton, Ohio, have been holding year-end blessing ceremonies at the local Young Women's Christian Association. Their sincerity and genuineness have come to soothe many battered hearts. Scarves and wool hats are but simple gifts. However, they contain the love and care of the Tzu Chi volunteers. Saying it once was not enough.
While conducting home visitations in China's Donghuaizhuang village, Tzu Chi volunteers from Tianjin came across a mentally disabled woman whose home was messy and unattended. Volunteers soon returned to help the woman clean up her home. But first, let's turn our focus to Jakarta, Indonesia, where volunteers have been providing a 60-year-old recipient with monthly subsidies and helping her receive medical treatment. Driving through traffic and floodwaters, moments later, Tzu Chi volunteers arrive at a dilapidated house.
When we first met Masina, we realized that what she needed the most was medical attention.
Already poor, a stroke 2 years ago further added to Mersina's financial hardship. Tzu Chi not only covered Mersina's medical expenses, but also provided her with financial support. Gradually, the volunteers' gestures inspired Mersina's son to change.
Masina's son finally brought her home. As the eldest, he wanted to take better care of his mother.
When I can walk again, I want to visit the Tzu Chi volunteers. I hope I can get better soon. Thank you so much.
This homeowner, who is mentally disabled, has left her home in a state of neglect. Tzu Chi volunteers from Tianjin arrived with cleaning tools to give the house a thorough cleaning. Scrubbing tirelessly, volunteers are determined to give the homeowner a clean and tidy environment to live in. They also brought some metal panels and plastic sheeting for the window to keep the wind at bay. Now that the home is spick and span, neighbors stop by for a visit to witness the transformation for themselves.
We should give of ourselves when we can and extend our love to those in need. When we come across those who are worse off than ourselves, we should extend a helping hand.
Helping others is a great way to bring ourselves happiness.
Taiwanese businessman Wu Ziyu has run a shoe factory in Dongguan, China for the past 20 years. Although he has recently decided to finally retire, Wu still kept the factory open on behalf of his employees and their family. The 60-year-old retiree has also decided to personally remain in Dongguan thanks to the spiritual home he has found in Tzu Chi.
That day, everyone was very excited to watch Wisdom at dawn, but suddenly the internet was down. I said, no problem. The internet in my company should be okay. At that time, we didn't have a classroom. We had nothing. It was as empty as this room. I said to them, okay, let's do it here from now on. I will prepare. I then got one of my kids to design a room in a Tzu Chi sort of way.
The kids that Wu referred to have been with him for close to a decade now, and many have kids of their own.
I have been here 7 to 8 years. After having a child, I still came back because it feels like a home here.
When we make a mistake, they will forgive us. They care for us, make allowances for our mistakes, and are considerate of our needs.
Wu helps where and when he can, once funding a trip home for an employee following the death of her mother-in-law.
He said, let her go home and let her borrow the money to do it. The manager said employees can only borrow a maximum of 300 RMB. However, Mr. Wu then said to lend me 600. This was the first time that someone had treated me so well and spoke like that on my behalf. It was a moving moment. I think Mr. Wu is really an outstanding person.
My wife always talks about the unwillingness to let go. For me, it's hard to let go of these employees who have been with me for so many years. If we close this factory, at least 300 families will be affected.
In the past 20 years, Wu Jiashan has built a relationship of trust and support with his employees. So it is no surprise that this DaAi Technology sneakers was assembled to perfection without the need of managerial supervision.
Every sneaker we make is their footprint. It is their footprint in China.
The same year Wu began his Tzu Chi volunteer training. He also won a contract with DaAi Technology to assemble their line of footwear. It was also then that Wu had everyone in the company wear Tzu Chi's great tops.
We are one heart. From these great uniforms, we grow and study together. This is one of the changes in how I treat my employees since joining Tzu Chi.
Once a lover of golf, the awards that used to fill the room have been packed up. What was an expensively furnished office is now just a desk and a computer. A media volunteer, it is capturing Tzu Chi's work on which Wu now spends his time.
When my father passed on, I didn't shed a tear. After joining Tzu Chi, seeing this story, this video, or even a child saying, I haven't been hugged in a long time, I have tears running down my face. It's great.
A life of work has now been replaced by a life of service, as his life in Dongguan is no longer centered on making money. Wu has time to stop and smell the roses.
I'm really happy, even though I'm at times even busier than before I retired. Before, I would come here 7 days a week. Now I return to Taiwan 7 days a week.
After Wu Ziyu graduated from the renowned National Taiwan University with a law degree, instead of landing a well-paying job, Wu decided to become a coffee vendor who sells coffee imported from Sumatra, Indonesia. Though it may seem like a profitable business, the man barely breaks even as he donates all his profits to help his suppliers.
It is my sincerest wish that every cup of coffee that I serve can help awaken the longing for Mother Earth that is deep within each and every one of us.
Many people enjoy drinking a cup of coffee, but few pay attention to the story behind their cups of coffee. The 2004 South Asian tsunami wiped out hundreds of thousands of homes in Indonesia. Aceh, on the island of Sumatra, a famous coffee-growing area, was among the hardest hit.
By chance, I visited Sumatra and just fell in love with the place. So I hope I can do something to help it recover.
Wu Ziyu visited the island after the tsunami to conduct research. Moved by how those with little means, who were trying to better their villages selflessly, Wu decided to do something to help. After returning to Dongshi, Taichung, the law major graduate began selling coffee imported from Sumatra.
对，它是蛮像的。咖啡也是我的工具，不是。
Coffee beans are but a tool for me to accomplish my goal, which is to improve the livelihood of coffee farmers and their villagers back in Indonesia.
Wu maximizes the amount he reciprocates by minimizing his expenses, which means he has to do most of the work alone, including moving the bags of coffee, which weigh 30 kilograms each.
我们可能要出发了。好，吧。
His friends call him a hopeless romantic. Though his coffee is not fair trade certified, Wu still insists on buying directly from the growers in Indonesia and even pays 10% above the market price. He even brings his friends and farmers of Dongshi with him on these trips.
Terima kasih banyak ya.
Thank you, friends.
谢谢，谢谢。
谢谢。
He said he wants to bring us the culture behind the coffee. He wants us to understand what the coffee farmers gain in return and just exactly what it is that we are drinking.
你喝了一杯咖啡。
You drink a cup of coffee, but it's more than just a sensation for your taste buds and body. We hope that people will be willing to understand the land where the coffee is grown and its story.
Despite his hard work, Wu doesn't make a profit, as all of his money is used to help coffee farmers buy equipment or to set up scholarships for rainforest study. In fact, for a while, he didn't even pay himself and relied solely on his income from giving speeches.
所有咖啡的关键字呢，我想都只有2个，一个是雨林，一个是殖民。
Two key words are tied to the word coffee. They are rainforest and colonization. We hope to help consumers understand just how a cup of coffee arrives at your table from a coffee plantation.
Wu believes that every cup of coffee brings about a unique experience and is also an opportunity to help the poor in Indonesia improve their standard of living.
只要你可以开始，
As long as you are willing to make a start, as you do the work, you can empower, awaken, or summon those with the same ideals to join you. And perhaps it might bring about a chance for humans to reevaluate the errors in their way of life.
The Jilong Jingzi Hall will soon be completed, and Tzu Chi volunteers in the area are working hard to make sure everything is in order at their new spiritual home. Helping with the work is master carpenter Lin Qinghe, who is in charge of sculpting several wooden plaques. Let's check on his progress.
This is the third Tzu Chi plaque that Lin Qinghe is making, and also the hardest.
Sculpting it is not easy at all because this is not the kind of wood that I want to use.
The wood is thicker and tougher than what Ling is used to.
This is too coarse, so you can't force down on it. You gotta carve one stroke at a time and then polish.
In spite of the challenges, Ling continues on as the wood was donated on behalf of the soon-to-be-completed Jilong Jingzi Hall. The 6 characters that spelled out Humanitarian Center were first written by calligrapher Zhang Minglai and then carved by Lin.
You have to sand down these areas before you paint, but that's just the base coat. You then have to polish again and then paint again. You got to repeat at least 5 times.
He works till 10 or sometimes even 11 at night. I always tell him to rest up early and start early the next day.
Though Ling's family is worried about him, they remain supportive. Ling became a carpenter at 16 and is known in the woodwork industry. Once indulging in smoking, drinking, and playing mahjong, Ling gave up his bad habits after joining Tzu Chi. Though he happily helps with decorating the new Jingzi Hall for the White Ox cart, a piece he has never done before, he had to research before he began.
We all have limitless potential. Just look at me. I have limitless potential too.
Though the work is hard, Ling is full of Dharma joy, and he hopes his work can cultivate good affinity with others.
In helping to spread Tzu Chi's message on the benefits of vegetarianism, Malaysia's Tzu Chi academies in Johor Bahru, Kulai, and Pontian worked together to perform a sign language musical with the message of going meatless. This message reached over 1,500 audience members over the span of 6 performances throughout the month of November. Those participating in the musical kept to a vegetarian diet during rehearsals, and now that the performance is over, many have taken the message to heart and remained on a meatless diet. In the sign language performance, children are forest animals enjoying the day that suddenly come face to face with humans looking to hunt them for food. In Malaysia, the Tzu Chi Johor Bahru branch's 5 Tzu Chi academies held 6 performances of the sign language musical in a moment's thought. In total, the 6 performances saw the participation of 500 on-stage volunteers.
Although we have been busy for the past few months, it feels really fulfilling. If everyone fully uses their time and doesn't waste it, there's still plenty of time to do something meaningful.
我们人啊也是有生命，动物也是有生命，我们应该不要残害它们。
The Tzu Chi academies involved began rehearsals in June, and although participation in the performance meant keeping to a vegetarian diet, many found not eating meat to be surprisingly easy.
Keeping a vegetarian diet isn't only a religious practice, but it can also protect the environment. For me, it became a mission, a goal, and when eating out, I would naturally spread the message to others.
A change of mind can change one's outlook on life. Both parents and students from the performance hope to spark a change in the world.
让我们要爱护地球，不要乱丢垃圾，要知足。
印象深刻就是不要杀生哦。
那我觉得吃素会对我们人类的身体会比较健康。
如果今天父母亲哦
The kids will follow what their parents do. So if as adults we set an example for the younger generation, then they will also be compassionate as well.
香美这样啦，我觉得。
The moving performances by the Tzu Chi academies inspired compassion and also helped to purify hearts. In Hong Kong, a vegetarian carnival was held at the historical Hakka House of Tsang Tai Uk. Tzu Chi volunteers were invited by the organizers of the event to provide some vegetarian food. Upon the conclusion of the carnival, volunteers also stayed behind to sort the recyclables collected. We will leave you with these images at the end of the show. Thank you for watching DaAi Headlines. Goodbye.